There's a lot of conversation, or there's ideas that we bounce or feed off each other. Often we don't like each other's ideas, and we'll make sure that we write down the idea, because maybe one day down the track that will get used, or in time it percolates, or the space that we're working within is something that feeds into ideas as well.
Often I speak about the work in terms of the movie Inception. So basically, we talk about things and then we put ideas into each other's heads. The idea of individual authorship really kind of disappears, and we take on the idea, and then the idea grows into something. So I think it's interesting that art is usually seen as a very solo thing, but I mean, we live in very complex societies where it's very odd for people just to work within little bubbles. So I feel like working together seems a very natural way of working.
And can you tell me a bit about this work in particular? Is this based on a Japanese folk story, I think I read?
That's right. It's a scene that you might find depicted on a traditional Japanese kite. And so this is Raiko, the warrior, who is having a fight with the Oni Shutendoji. And Raiko is wearing a number of helmets, and the Oni is actually already having been decapitated, takes a bite of the warrior's head, but he is confused and distracted because it's actually a helmet that he is biting onto. So we were interested in that as a distraction.
Because we're primarily sculptors, we feel, each object, each material has its own language. And really when we use found objects, we usually pick things that speak to us really, and speak to the concept that we're trying to talk about at the time. So what you can see here, it's actually a piece of army surplus. It's a Vietnam War era helicopter fuselage. It's a kind of reverse evolution, or a reverse engineered. So we've gone from a flying machine, a modern machine of war, back to a kite.
This whole body of work, there's 20 works that are part of this series. So we've made about 20 kites. And the thing is, when we were making them, we had, a planned residency to go to Niigata in Japan, where they fly some of the world's largest kites. And we were going to have this residency, but of course, because of lockdown, we couldn't get there. So this is a result of actually being grounded, being stuck in Australia, and doing a lot of the research from Australia. And so we kind of see a kite as something that is almost like a drop pin, it places you in the here and now, whereas an aeroplane is something that will take you, from here to elsewhere. So we just thought that was an interesting, way of dealing with the material.